Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, as you guys see, we're finally going to be doing the F82 front end swap on my F32 that we have over here. So this is going to be one of those things where some people are for it, some people aren't, so that's okay. I'm wanting to do something different, so I decided to go with the fenders from DTM Fiberworks. These are actually the ones that you guys saw at the intro. Before we continue with the video, I want to give a big shout out to Simply Carbon Fiber for sponsoring today's video. You guys know I recently made the switch to the iPhone and they were kind enough to send me a replacement case. This has actually been my favorite case so far that I've ever owned. The quality of it is just too good. It's real carbon fiber and the feel of it is just amazing. It's thin at the same time, it's not too bulky. So at the same time you get stylish, but you also get protection. I've already dropped the phone by accident, but nothing happened luckily, so the case did its job. And you don't have to worry about scratching up your phone or anything like that. But at the same time you get to keep a nice case on your phone. If you guys are interested in grabbing one for your phone, I will have the link down below, and also you guys can use my discount code, which I will put it right here for you guys to save a little bit of money off your order. So big shout out to Simply Carbon Fiber for sponsoring today's video. Now let's go ahead and continue with the install. So these are the fenders right here, and what I was thinking about doing, which I'm probably going to do more than likely, I'm actually going to have this part filled out because I'm not going to be running the little side trim that the M cars have. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. It's going to be fully vented right here. And then also I think I am going to be buying that little plastic piece that goes in here, the insert. So I'm going to have to source those pieces, cut them right here because you're not supposed to, I mean, you won't be able to run the whole thing. And then this is going to be filled out like I said, that way so it'll look more like a aftermarket fender than a M style fender, because I mean we got the vents over here, so it's really not going to have like that factory M4 look. Obviously the bumper is going to be the factory F8X bumper, and we also have the 3D design style front lip. So I wanted to go with a little bit with something more conservative than all my previous lips that I've done in the past. So this is more on the low-key side, which I might keep. I gotta see how it looks, but I am gonna be going for like a GT look, sort of. I think that's what I'm aiming for right now. So I think I might end up having to go with the Raptor style lip in the future, or a little bit more aggressive style splitter. So we're gonna run this for now. I think it should still look really good, especially at my ride height. And then obviously we got here the bumper, which is the Euro spec, so we don't have the side reflectors over here. I am gonna have the caps put in and then have this shaved off because I'm not really a fan of the windshield wiper or a headlight washer, headlight washer cleaners. So the fenders are from DTM Fiberworks. The bumper, the lip, and the GTS style hood are from Souvenir. So shout out to those guys for partnering up with this project. So the only thing that I'm kind of curious about is the side skirts. I didn't go ahead and order the side skirts. I've seen two people run this setup. I haven't really seen a lot of information about it. So I figured why not go ahead and document this, and it'd be a great idea for some of you guys that have a 440 or even a 435. If you guys have a paid off 435 and want to do something different, then you know, maybe running the F82 front end might be an option. So I decided not to get the side skirts just because I want to see how the fenders fit with the side skirts. Hopefully I don't have to order a set, but if I need to, I will. I still have a little bit of time to try to get my hands on a set and try to get them painted on time. So I'm actually going to be trying to make these work. And the reason why I didn't want to run the M4 side skirts is because even though they are going to kind of flare out to meet the fender, the back actually also flares out. And because the 440 doesn't have, you know, the wider arches that the or quarter panels that the M4 has, I didn't want the fenders or the side skirts to stick out, but I think they can be modified to where you can push them inwards. So that would be the second option if I can't get these to work. So even if the fender overlaps the side skirt a little bit, I'll be completely okay with that. And then you know, over time I'll decide if I want to modify the front of the side skirts or get the M4 side skirts and modify the back. So I really want to get this project completed today and do it as quick as possible. So I want to drop, today's Sunday, I want to drop this car off to the shop for paint on Monday, which is tomorrow. I didn't really get a chance to work on it yesterday on Saturday just because I had so many things to do. But the only concerning part would be the fenders. Everything else is just a complete direct bolt on. The hood and the bumper is an easy install. They really don't require a lot of stuff. So the fenders, I have to drill the holes on the other fenders that are out there, and then just make sure I get everything lined up correctly. And I'm hoping that everything else is an easy install. I have to drill holes for like the brackets and all that stuff. So I'll document that a little bit and just kind of show you guys how the install process would work. And once again, these are for the F82 M4, so they're not for the F32. So we're gonna have to hope that everything just lines up correctly, and then the other pieces just kind of help with the process to make it a breeze. So I'm gonna record a little bit. I'm not gonna record the full process. Obviously the hood and the bumper is a simple procedure. I don't really have to show you guys that. And I'll kind of focus on the fender, since this is more of a aftermarket part, and then I'll show you guys how the fitment is. So I got the fender liners removed. We got one over here, the other one over here. You got like 100 screws. You got some over here and some over there. So this allows you to access everything that you need to do. If you have fog lights, it's easy to unplug them over here. And then also you do have to remove these because you got a bolt that's back there. You can't see it. Let me see if I can get my phone. So right there, right there. So that's the bolt that you're gonna have to remove. And then I believe that's the only one. Then you got one up there as well, which actually has to come out from the other side. So you have to open up the door. So it's just two bolts right there. And then you got the bolts that are up here. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these. But before I do that, I'm gonna remove the bumper, that way so we can get that out of the way. And then the fender should come out easy, I think. So I have all the air scoops that were on the car for the F32 bumper off now. I have the bumper pushed in all the way over here. And then let's see here. So let's say the bumper would be attached. So this is how it would look like. It'll close in the gap, but then you got this gap over here that sticks out a little bit further out. Actually, not a little, quite a bit. So yeah, you could try to flex this and everything, but it's really not gonna fit right. It's not gonna look how it should. So definitely we'll have to get the F82 fenders on there. Just wanted to show you guys a quick glimpse. See if I can step back. I don't really have a lot of space, but that gives you an idea on how it's gonna look. So the driver's fender is off. Now we can test fit this fender and see how good it fits, and then we can go ahead and mock up the holes and go ahead and drill into it. Alright, so the first issue that I have is that this tab right here is actually sticking out a little bit too much. So I'm going to go ahead and cut from here and here. That way so the fender can actually be pushed back forward towards the door. And I can close up the gap that I have right now because the gap is a little bit too big. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this down and then go back and test fit, and hopefully we get it right on the first time. So after test fitting it, I realized that this little tab is actually in the way, so it's preventing the fender from closing up the gap between the door and the fender. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit and then go back and test fit it again. So I finally got to work on the car again, and I just wanted to show you guys kind of where we're at. So I got the fenders and the bumper on somewhat. The fenders, I ended up bolting them on the best that I could. There was quite a bit of shaving and dremeling involved. in order to get the fitment that I needed. Obviously this is not the final fitment, but I am just gonna let the shop kind of handle the final touches. So I did most of the work just to get the fenders to fit on there. This is kind of where we're at with the gap. The gap can be closed off just a little bit if you see here, obviously, but it's not fully secured yet. So it is a little bit bigger than what the factory one is, but it's not by much. It's probably maybe like 1 or 2 millimeters at the most difference. I think this is gonna have to be sanded down just a little bit in order to get it to fit all the way correct, or maybe some adjustments up top. Maybe have to pull this fender up forward a little bit. So we still got the factory hood, and you can see here that right here it's dipping down, and right here it's got this gap that it's not closing off to the bumper. So I'm not gonna do any adjustments until I get the GTS hood on there, which Joy's gonna be helping me with that later on this evening. I'm just kind of waiting for the sun to go down a little bit more. So I'm gonna take a break, grab something to eat. We're gonna come back and then take this one off and then throw the GTS one on there. So it's been a little bit over a week ago since I promised you guys a video. A video was supposed to be out last Monday. It is now maybe Wednesday or Thursday by the time you guys are seeing this, of the week after. It's not the week of when you guys were supposed to be getting an update. So I decided to not post a video because I didn't get the project done like I expected. I expected everything to bolt up without a lot of hassle, and that wasn't the case. So I didn't think about the little brackets that might be needed for the bumper to mount on properly and all that. And then also the fenders required a little bit more trimming than needed. Obviously nothing too bad, because once I got the first one done, I was able to get the second one a lot quicker. So it was very minimal trimming that was needed. One of the tabs I had to cut out, so I'm not using the bolt right there and under that tab. And then another one of those tabs that goes on the back side, I think actually that's the one that I ended up trimming off. So there's like 3 bolts that I'm not using just because of the fiberglass, the material of the fenders is not lining up correctly. So the only ones that I'm using are actually right here, which is this one, 2 and 3 up there, and then we got 1 at the bottom, so that's 4. That one actually goes so we got 1, 2, 3, and then we got 1 that goes in from the inside up until the frame of the car. So that is the 4th one that we're using here, and I think that's all I'm going to be using. I'm going to be finding a way to secure the fender on this part of the body. There's a bracket which I should be able to tie up into. I'm not going to be using a bolt. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to use a zip tie or a separate screw. So once I get that tightened up, the fender's not gonna be moving anywhere. So also, I ended up having to order one of these brackets, which is the air duct for the radiator, and this is where the bumper mounts to. So I ended up ordering another one, which you can see here. This is F32, F33, F36. So what's happening with this one is that the bumper is going too far back and it's creating an issue. So if you see here, I'll go ahead and push it in. And then when I shut the hood, we have this issue. So the bumper is overlapping. Well, the hood is overlapping the bumper. And this is not how it's supposed to go. But if you look at it over here, everything seems to be lining up for the most part. Obviously some minor adjustments are going to be needed, but then again, with the aftermarket hood and aftermarket fender, obviously the gap is not going to be the same. Even when I'm running factory fenders and the aftermarket hood, the gap is not fully the same all the way across. Like especially along this side, it tends to be closer. So this is actually pretty good for what it is. With these being aftermarket fenders, I think this is gonna work out, and it's gonna look super nice once it's ready. Here's a glimpse of it. We got the fender, the bumper kind of just hanging on there. We got the GTS hood. So I have a few other pieces that I need to order, and one of those is the foam for the crash bar. And then we also have to order the pieces that go in here into the bumper. I gotta get 1, 2, 3, and then the little trim pieces that go in here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, they go in there. But that's not really important because we gotta get this painted first before we can mount those up. And then this, I'm actually gonna have the body shop fill it in, close it off, that way so I don't have to worry about having these holes here, because I could leave it like that and just tape it over, but what's the point of having these if I don't have the actual headlight washer? So I'm gonna just have them fill it in and then seal it off completely. Hey guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the project so far. It's not a easy, well, it's not a hard thing to do, but at the same time I guess it's only difficult because I don't have everything that I needed. So aside from that, once you guys finish going through these videos, if you guys are wanting to do it yourself, you're gonna know what's needed to get this project going. So I'm happy overall with the outcome. Eventually it'll all come together and it's gonna look a lot nicer, and we're gonna have a more aggressive car, a little bit unique, a little bit not so much, because at the end of the day it's just a replica of an M4. But at the same time, you guys know that I'm taking the extra time to get this right. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be missing the key show. I hate to say it, but I mean, yeah, I could have put the stock parts back on, but honestly, I started this and I want to finish it. I don't feel like going backwards. I mean, I'm not really happy with the paint on the car either way. With the factory parts, the hood's chipped, the bumper doesn't match, so I don't want to go through all that and just putting the car back to stock. Obviously you guys don't really care or not gonna care, but if I'm gonna make the trip, I at least want the car to be presentable. So I'm gonna have to catch you guys next time at the key show. Hopefully everything goes well, whether I have this car or another project, but you know, we're gonna have to plan for next year. But we do have BMW Invasion, which is gonna come up sooner than we think. So it's gonna be, I think, around the same time next year. We're all almost halfway there, so at least the car is gonna be ready by then. So yes, I figured I'd give you guys an update. Let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned for part 2, which is hopefully coming soon. I just gotta wait on those parts to arrive. Hopefully it's less than a week, but it might be about a week. So I'll try to keep you guys updated as much as I can. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.